Now, the last thing to think about in the session today is whether or not there's any kind of divergence between private provision of the good and public provision of the good, right? When we provide privately, there are definitely certain advantages that occur, right? Um, we know that private firms, as we've discussed, are profit maximizing. They're the hardest working and they're the tightest in the market. They constantly battle each other on price and they constantly are generating profits through sort of, price initiatives and price creation and stuff. So it's definitely a hugely important kind of fundamental sort of setup that we have here. Um, but as we know, if the private market does not exist, and the reasons why the private market would not exist would be precisely down to the free rider problem that we've discussed here. When the private market does not exist, we need to introduce that's exactly the point where it's the government's job to step in and sort of, look to amend the situation in some kind of way. And so what we end up with is the public sector existing. However, the issue is this second point on my page here, the fact that the state of public provision is not necessarily economically efficient. What do we mean by this? The state of public provision is not economically efficient. Well, what we're really saying is, when the public sector provides something, they are not faced with competition. And this is what I've said here, right? Competition is really a driver of true efficiency. Um, competition is a driver of true efficiency. So without competition, the state can sort of get a bit lazy, right? The state can get a bit lazy without sort of effective and widespread competition in the market. And so sometimes there is a risk, there is a genuine material risk of low quality public goods because there is no competition to incentivize high quality. But the final point, which is the final point I'll make for the session today, and also the counter argument to this comes from the TA-Bow model. Okay, now the TA-Bow model is essentially a model that focuses on the democratic economy with many elections at the regional level is best for the public sector quality of goods because there is strong interregional competition. So the idea is close geographical competition can still drive sort of, good top line quality of goods in this situation. Okay. So again, thinking about linking this back to the question, okay? Think about state provision of media. Think about accurate provision of media. The question is, is how much competition actually exists in the market? How much competition actually exists in the market? Okay. Right. Anyway, that wraps up the main set of slides.